Hello and welcome to the third of this mini video series all about reversing type 2 diabetes and pre-diabetes. On day one, we looked at what it really is, and that is a result of insulin resistance and chronic inflammation. You have to have those conditions in order for you to develop type 2 diabetes. We also looked at the stats. They're pretty shocking. 30.3 million people in America have diabetes. 95%, between 90 to 95% of those people are type 2 diabetic, a condition which can be completely reversed 100% through nutrition and lifestyle changes. No medications needed. I'm on a personal mission to get people off medication when they are not needed. And it gives me great joy and satisfaction helping people reverse type 2 diabetes. So yesterday we looked at epigenetics, the role of epigenetics in your diet. This is when we can override a genetic predisposition to getting something by the choices that we make, the food that we eat and how we move our bodies and how we manage emotions like stress, trauma, anxiety. All of this stuff triggers inflammation when it's not looked after properly, triggers disease. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why we are experiencing such an epidemic of type 2 diabetes and obesity, which has been dubbed Diabesity, because the two go hand in hand. It all goes back to the early 80s, and you may remember this. This was the introduction around 1984 of the low-fat craze. The media put it out there that fat was dangerous and led to heart disease. People started really going low-fat everything, and because people were going low-fat everything, the fat was replaced with sugar. Sugar spikes insulin, your fat-storing hormone. People start to go low-fat, high-carb. Now, because carbohydrates like breads and pastas and potatoes, they trigger a very sharp blood sugar response. This is what leads to insulin resistance over time when you're spiking all the time. You might have a very high carb loaded breakfast, high carb loaded lunch, high carb loaded dinner. And when this is happening again and again and again, you're spiking your blood sugars consistently, and this can lead to insulin resistance. So when fat is taken out of foods, for example, low-fat yogurts, because fat actually tastes good and is good for you, that's taken out and it's replaced with sugar to make them taste better. So a lot of people think they're eating really healthy food, healthy low-fat yogurts, even still these days, and they think they're being healthy. But you look at the sugar content on these yogurt pots, and they're very high, sometimes 20, 25 grams of sugar. Remember, whenever you consume sugar, your blood sugars spike very sharply. So that's just one thing to look out for. When we replace fat with carbohydrates and sugar, we're going to be spiking our insulin all day long. I used to live like this. I used to have a breakfast cereal for lunch. I used to have a sandwich for breakfast, sandwich for lunch, pasta for dinner, and wonder why I'm just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and why I can't think properly. You know, it's a conventional way of living, but it's not a healthy way of living. So we cut right back on those carbs. We can actually reduce our blood sugars almost immediately. I mean, you don't spike your blood sugars at all if you don't eat at all. Like, nothing happens to your blood sugars if you don't eat at all. If you eat fat, almost nothing happens to your blood sugars, your insulin. Remember, your pancreas secretes insulin to moderate blood sugars. If you just consume fat, almost nothing happens with your insulin. You can consume sugar and carbohydrates, your insulin starts spiking. So this is why we need to kind of really cut back on the carbs. Another culprit is wheat, particularly the modern hybridized wheat grain that we find in America. It used to be pretty good, better in comparison with what it is today, 10,000 years ago at the start of the agricultural industry. The crops used to be about 1.5 meters tall, and now they're about 1 foot tall. They're called dwarf crops to yield more in less time. Great for farmers, great for the agricultural industry, not so good for your health. It's gone through a process called mutagenesis. So there's been lots of different proteins added to it to make it stand against the weather and of course make more money for the agricultural industry. So one thing to take out is wheat. And that might be quite hard to hear because it's something that's such a staple food these days, but it actually triggers a sharper blood sugar response than table sugar. You can go and look this up. Whole wheat has a glycemic index of 71. Table sugar is around 58. Now, we're being told, even by organisations that we trust, to have lots of healthy whole grains. They're not so healthy. They really aren't. when you load up on these, because they spike your blood sugars all day, every day. And that's when you need to have things like metformin and insulin to moderate everything. We don't need that. We just take out the things that's causing the blood sugar spikes, and then you can start balancing your body completely naturally. It's actually fairly straightforward once you have the mechanics of doing this. So I hope you found that useful. I don't want to overload you with too much information. I think that's enough for now. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about more inflammatory culprits, or more culprits that trigger insulin resistance. Remember, you have to have insulin resistance and you have to have chronic inflammation in order for you to have type 2 diabetes. So we want to get rid of those things, reverse them, balance the body, come off medications. It's all possible. You can 100% reverse type 2 diabetes. So check out video tomorrow for more inflammatory culprits. I hope you found that useful. Please like and share. And also go to diabetesdefense.com, defense with a C, and download a PDF which shares with you a comparison of the side effects of metformin, the drug that's mostly used to treat type 2 diabetes, compared with the side effects of my program called Diabetes Defense. Also, you will be able to get access to the first 2 chapters of my book, The Vitality Secret, completely free. Please like and share this video with anyone you know it will benefit. Thank you for watching.